I welcome you all in today's live class of chemistry. Children, in previous class, I have explained you about the method of writing formula by crisscross method. Is it? And I hope that you understood that method to write the formula. Now, today I am going to start the next chapter of chemistry, that is weather, climate and adaptation. So, this is our next chapter. In this chapter, we will discuss mainly about the weather of a place, climate and the adaptation which are found in different animals and the plants. Alright. So, before starting the chapter, I am going to discuss that an activity to study the weather report. Alright children. So for this you have to observe the weather report which is given in a daily newspaper and you must have seen it. So a sample of this weather report is given in newspaper like that. Okay. And it's given that maximum temperature, say that 28.6 degree Celsius, and the minimum is given like 25.9 degree Celsius. Second thing, it's given about moon rise and moon set. So the next information is given as moon rise. Say that on Tuesday the moon rise will be at 6:29 p.m. Alright, and the moon set on Wednesday at 4:38 p.m. Okay, the next information is given about sun. So the sunset is on Tuesday given at 7:21 p.m. After the sunset, the next information is given about sunrise. And it is on Wednesday at 5:23 a.m. Alright, and along with these information, it's also given like generally the cloudy sky with few spells of rain or thunder. One or two may be heavy, and the maximum humidity on Monday is 98% and minimum 92%. Get it? So the humidity is also given there. Maximum humidity on Monday, yes, suppose it's 98% and minimum it's 92%. Get it? So this information you can see on a newspaper. Get it? So children, what this information provide us? So this provides information on various parameters. Is it? Like temperatures, humidity. Humidity is what? Yes, humidity is a measure of the amount of moisture in the air is known as humidity. So, such information provide us temperature, humidity, clouds and rainfall and the times of sunrise and sunset. Alright, with reference to a region. And these parameters and their day-to-day changes that make up the weather. Get it, children? Understood about the weather? These all parameters, that is temperature, humidity, rainfall, okay, and the day-to-day measure of these all is going to give us the weather of a particular region. Clear? Now, one more thing is there. To study the weather change, how we can study it, how we can know that the weather changes. So again, for studying the weather change, we can have a simple activity. Get it? And from the weather report in a daily newspaper, like this is a weather report of a newspaper. So from this weather report, we can note the following information daily for 10 consecutive days. Get it? What the things we will note down? The first one about the temperature, that is maximum temperature and minimum temperature. The second thing we will note down the humidity, that is maximum humidity and minimum humidity. Get it? And after noting down these things for 10 continued days, what we will do? Yes, we will plot a graph showing the change in maximum and minimum temperatures during the period. Get it? And the second thing, we can plot a graph showing the change in maximum and minimum humidity during that period. Get it? So easily we can understood about the change of weather, that how the weather changes for that continuous days. Alright children, so you will find that all maximum and minimum temperatures as well as the maximum and minimum humidity vary on almost every day. Get it? And the weather may change from day to day and even from hour to hour. It may be sunny in the morning and suddenly may get overcast and start raining heavily in the afternoon. Alright children, and this day-to-day conditions of the atmosphere at a place with regard to factors like temperature, humidity, rainfall, speed and direction of wind, etc. is called the weather at that place. Alright. So, the weather of a place is decided on certain factors. And what are these factors? The first one, temperature. Second one, humidity. Third one, rainfall. And the fourth one is speed and direction of wind. So, these all factors together decide the weather of a place. Get it? Understood? And these all factors, that temperature, humidity, etc., are also called the elements of weather. What they are called? Yes, they are called elements of weather. So one by one we will discuss the different elements of weather. And the first element is, yes, temperature. Okay? So the maximum temperature of the day at a given place occurs normally in the afternoon. Is it? As the earth gets heated by the sun And at night, the sun rays do not fall at that place, and so it cools down. So the minimum temperature occurs early in the morning, is it? And you already know that the temperature is measured by a thermometer. Get it? And the maximum and minimum temperatures are measured by special thermometers, which are known as maximum and minimum thermometers. Get it, children? So for measuring the temperature, we use the thermometers. And for measuring maximum and minimum temperature, we use the maximum and minimum thermometers. So these are the two kind of thermometers. The one is common thermometer by which temperature is measured, and for measuring maximum and minimum temperature we using the other kind of thermometer which is known as maximum and minimum thermometers. Alright. In India, the highest temperatures recorded during summers at several places in the plains of north and in the northwest, which rises above 40 degrees Celsius. Get it? So that 40 degree Celsius, that is the temperature recorded in our country. In which time? During the summer. Alright, children? So this is the first element of weather, that is temperature. Now come to the next element of weather, and that is humidity and rainfall. Alright, so humidity and rainfall is the second important element of weather. And this humidity is measured by an instrument which is called hygrometer. What that instrument is called, children? Yes, it is called hygrometer. Okay. And the greater the humidity, more the chances of rain. Alright, if the humidity will be more, so the chances of rain will be also more. And the rainfall is measured by an instrument which is called a rain gauge. Alright, so these are the two instruments which are used to measure humidity and rainfall. Humidity is measured by hygrometer and rainfall is measured by rain gauge. Children, in our country, that in India, rain is mainly brought by two kinds of humidity. Okay, so the two kinds of humidity, latent winds, are responsible for rainfall in our country. And these two kinds of humidity laden winds are, yes, the first one, southwest monsoon. That the time period for this monsoon is June to September, and it brings heavy rain to most part of the country. And the second wind is northeast monsoon, and the time period for it is November to March, and it brings relatively lighter rain. Alright, so what are the two kinds of humidity laden winds? Yes, the first one is southwest monsoon. And the second one is, yes, it is northeast monsoon. Get it? And what are the time periods of these two kinds of monsoon? Southwest monsoon, the time period is June to September. And the time period for northeast monsoon is, yes, from November to March. Get it? This monsoon brings Yes, heavy rain to most part of our country, and this second one brings the relatively lighter rain. Alright children. So, as I have discussed here about the rain gauge, which is an instrument used to measure the rainfall. Get it? So, this rain gauge you can also prepare by yourself. Understood? And to prepare the rain gauge, we will follow the following steps. Okay, children, how we can make our own rain gauge? So, for this, first of all, we will take a 1 liter plastic bottle. Alright. And for example, a mineral water bottle you can take. So, that 1 liter plastic bottle we can take, and with the help of any of an adult or your parent, cut its top off with the knife. Alright children, so we will cut its top portion with the help of knife, and on a strip of paper make the centimeters and millimeter markings. So we will take a strip of paper, and here we'll put the markings. Okay, the markings are millimeter and centimeters. And now paste this strip on the side of the bottle. Get it? We will paste this strip here. Side of the bottle. And at the time to paste this strip, we have to take care that the zero of the scale is in the line with the bottom of the bottle. Alright, where should the zero? Here. It should be zero here. Get it? And invert the cut off top portion of the bottle and keep it on the bottle. The portion which we have cut, invert it. This portion will get inverted and keep it here on the bottle. Alright children. So this is our rain gauge. Alright. Keep it outside when it rains, and the readings of the level of water in the bottle measures the rainfall. Get it? The strip which we have pasted here. So the reading here, when the rainfalls will occur, the water will get collected here, and this reading will give us that the level of rainfall, how much rainfall occurs. Get it? So this one is our simple rain gauge that we can prepare by ourselves. Get it? Now come to the next elements of weather. We are discussing the elements of weather, and two elements we have discussed. The first one, temperature, second one, humidity and rainfall. Now the third element of weather is wind. Alright children, during the southwest monsoon period, the humidity laden winds from the Indian Ocean and Bay of Bengal bring rain to India. And during winters, when the winds blow from the mountains of North India towards the northern plains, okay, the plains become very cold during summers, and the wind blow from the hot desert of Rajasthan towards Delhi, and Delhi becomes very hot. Get it? So the wind also play an important role to decide the weather of a region. Get it? So this is also an important element of weather. Get it, children? So these are the different elements of weather by which the weather decided. Now, how we can predict the weather of a particular place? So for predicting the weather, the scientists who study and predict the weather are known as meteorologists. What they are known as, children? Yes, they are known as meteorologists. Okay, so those scientists who predict the weather. Now, they predict weather by studying the patterns in weather and the several factors that affect weather. And the weather is a very complex phenomenon. It is affected by hundreds of factors and is not easy to predict it. Alright, that is why the predictions sometimes go wrong. Understood? Because number of factors are responsible for weather. That is why sometimes it's go wrong. Alright, children? So I hope that you understood how the weather predicted by meteorologist. Now, children, there is a question that why are cloudy nights warmer than clear nights? Is it? You must have observed that cloudy nights, yes, are warmer than clear nights. So, the cloudy nights are warmer than clear nights. The reason is there when the sky is clear at night, there is no cloud covered to prevent the heat which is radiating from earth to escape. Get it? And as the heat from the sun escapes, the earth cools down. Okay? And when there are clouds at the night, they do not allow the heat radiating from the earth to escape. So the earth remains warm. Understood, children? That why the cloudy nights are warmer than clear nights? So the reason is the same. Yes, when the sky is clear at night, there is no cloud. Okay, to prevent the heat radiating from the earth to escape. And as a result, what happened? The heat from the earth escapes and the earth cools down. Okay, so the clear nights are cold, and when there is cloud at night, they do not allow the heat radiating from the earth to escape, and that is why the earth remains warm. Get it? So this is the reason that the cloudy nights are warmer than clear nights. Get it? I hope so. Children, after the weather, the next topic that we will discuss is the climate. Children, the climate is the weather pattern of a place that can be seen from the weather records of the past several years, and the average weather pattern of a place taken over a long time, say that about 25 years. Alright, so this is called the climate of that place. Understood, children? Once again, I am going to repeat that weather pattern of a place that can be seen from weather records of the past several years, and the average weather pattern of a place taken over a long time, say that about 25 years, is called the climate of that place. Okay, so the different places in the world have the different types of climate. All right, and the factors that determines the climate of a place are, the first one is the distance from the equator. Okay, so the factors, the first factor is distance from the equator, or you can say that latitude. So children, this is the first factor who determines the climate of a place. That distance from the equator, that place is situated where and how much they are far from the equator or near to the equator. This will decide the climate of that place. Alright? The second factor is height above sea level. Okay, the height above the sea level. The place is situated at how much height from the sea level. That is also one of the important factor to decide the climate of that place. Okay, the higher you go, the cooler it becomes. Means that as we will move far from the sea level or as we move up higher to the sea level, the climate becomes cool, and near the sea level the climate is, yes, it's moderately hot. All right, now the third factor is the distance from the sea or from high mountain ranges. So the third factor is distance from the sea. Okay, distance from the sea or from high mountain ranges. So this is the third factor which determines the, yes, climate of a place. Children, generally the places near the sea have a moderate climate. They are neither very hot nor very cold. Whereas the mountains affect the wind and rainfall, and hence it affects the climate also. Alright. So the third factor is the distance from the sea. As we will come near the sea, that climate is moderate. It's not very cold, not very hot. And as we move from it, say that at mountains, yes, the climate is cool. Now the fourth factor which determines the climate of a place is winds. Okay, the winds also help to determine the climate because the climate depends on whether winds are hot or cold, that humid or dry. Get it? That winds are sometimes hot or cold, and this decided on that pattern of wind. And the winds are also humid or dry, so that will determine the climate. Clear? Now, the fifth important factor who determine the climate is the amount of moisture or humidity in the air. So this is the fifth factor who determine the climate, that amount of moisture or humidity in the air. Alright children, if the moisture will be more in the air, that climate will be, yes, it is humid, or you can say that cool. And if the moisture will be less, so it will be dry. Get it? So these are the 5 important factors which determine the climate of a place. Alright children? So I hope that you understood these all factors, and you must have to learn children the factors who determine the climate of a place. Okay? Thank you and have a nice day children.